Admiral Sarah Chen stood at the viewport of the ECS Nightingale, watching the endless dance of stars against the void. 20 years of deep space patrol had taught her to trust her instincts, and right now, every fiber of her being screamed that something was wrong. The Oort Cloud surveillance network had detected an anomaly, a gravitational distortion that shouldn't exist. "Status report," she commanded, turning to face her bridge crew. Lieutenant Marcus Rodriguez, her sensor officer, spoke without looking up from his holographic display. "The distortion is maintaining position, Admiral. Energy signatures unlike anything in our database. It's learning." Chen raised an eyebrow. "Learning? Every scan we run, it adapts, changes its pattern, like it's studying our technology." The Nightingale was officially a research vessel, part of Earth's peaceful space exploration initiative. The public story was that humanity had barely managed to reach the outer solar system, struggling with primitive fusion drives and basic shield technology. It was a carefully crafted illusion, one that had served Earth well for the past 50 years. "Ma'am," Rodriguez's voice cracked slightly. "The object, it's moving." The massive structure that emerged from the distortion drew a collective gasp from the bridge crew. It resembled a crystalline snowflake, if that snowflake had been forged from dark matter and strange energy. Its surface rippled with patterns that hurt the human eye to follow, mathematical impossibilities made real. "Battle stations," Chen ordered quietly. "Initiate Protocol Omega." Around the Nightingale, space itself seemed to shiver as the ship's true nature emerged. Quantum-locked armor plates shifted and realigned, revealing weapon systems that officially didn't exist. The research vessel transformed into what it truly was: humanity's first line of defense. "Admiral," her communications officer, Lieutenant Sarah Wong, called out, "We're receiving a transmission. It's singing." The alien message flooded through the ship's speakers, a haunting melody that somehow carried meaning. Chen's neural implant, another piece of technology Earth pretended not to have, translated in real time. "Civilization TTTE. Initiating Standard Harvest Protocol. Resistance is inefficient." Chen allowed herself a small smile. How many civilizations had these beings encountered? How many had they harvested, expecting the same pattern of fear and submission? They were about to learn that humanity didn't follow anyone else's patterns. "Send our response," she ordered. "Standard First Contact Package Alpha." The package was a masterpiece of misdirection. Carefully curated data showing Earth as a young, struggling civilization barely reaching for the stars. It had fooled dozens of alien species over the years, keeping humanity's true capabilities hidden. But this time, Chen suspected, things would be different. The crystalline structure pulsed, its surface now blazing with energy. "Assessment complete. Technological level minimal. Military capability negligible. Proceeding with harvest." "They took the bait," Rodriguez reported. "Their weapons are charging, but they're not bothering with full combat protocols. They think we're defenseless." Chen nodded to her tactical officer. "Show them their mistake. Activate the quantum web." The space around the Nightingale erupted in a display that would have been impossible according to publicly known physics. Strands of pure probability twisted reality itself, forming a defense grid that could rewrite the rules of cause and effect. The alien vessel's first attack, a beam of coherent energy that could have vaporized the small moon, simply ceased to exist halfway to its target. In the quantum web's influence, the probability of the attack succeeding had been reduced to 0. "Impossible," the alien transmission blared. "DTCTing ADVANCDQUAN men ANIPULA reassessing 3 level." "Send the alert to Earth," Chen ordered. "Tell them the harvesters have finally found us. And send our friends out there a message. Humanity is not your prey." The Nightingale's weapon ports opened, revealing technology that had been developed in secret for generations. Humanity had known this day would come, had prepared for it since the first radio signals from deep space had revealed the galaxy's true nature. As her ship engaged the alien vessel in humanity's first true interstellar battle, Admiral Chen couldn't help but feel a surge of pride. The harvesters had expected to find sheep ready for slaughter. Instead, they'd found wolves in sheep's clothing. "All stations," she announced, her voice carrying the weight of decades of preparation. "Execute Battle Plan Prometheus. Let's show them why humanity never reveals its full hand until we're ready to play." The crystalline fleet emerged from hyperspace like a shower of deadly stars, thousands of vessels casting prismatic reflections across Earth's orbital defense platforms. In Geneva, within the hidden chambers of the United Earth Defense Council, General Marcus John watched the tactical display with calculated calm. 6,000 ships, his AI assistant, ARRA, reported. "The Harvester fleet appears to be 40% larger than our initial estimates." Jean nodded, his weathered features illuminated by the holographic displays. The public would be panicking now, watching what appeared to be humanity's worst nightmare unfold. On every news feed across Earth and its colonies, the same message played. Unknown alien fleet approaches. All citizens proceed to emergency shelters. Status of Operation Hydra? Zhang asked, his fingers tracing patterns on his command console. "All pieces in position, General. The Lazarus Protocol is ready for activation." For 3 generations, humanity had maintained the facade of a struggling spacefaring civilization. Their ships appeared to lumber through space on primitive engines. Their weapons seemed barely able to scratch asteroid ore. And their quantum technology was officially in its infancy. It was all an elaborate deception, preparation for this very moment. "The harvesters are broadcasting, sir," his communications officer reported. "They're offering terms of surrender." The alien message echoed through the chamber. "Your defensive capabilities, AHVDBENANALYZD, resistance, will rise ULT and initiated. Eradi infrast ruchichuari damage, submit to harvest protocol for optimal resource extraction." Zhang allowed himself a small smile. "Send them our response. Come and take it." He entered a series of commands, activating systems that had lain dormant since their installation. Across the solar system, humanity's true defense grid awakened. The moon shimmered as vast sections of its surface dissolved, revealing the massive shipyards hidden beneath its regolith. Mars' polar ice caps rippled as quantum cannon arrays emerged from their icy concealment. The asteroid belt came alive with thousands of autonomous combat platforms, their previously passive signatures transforming into blazing points of military power. "Sir," his tactical officer called out, "the Harvester fleet is detecting our activations. They're shifting formation." "Of course they are," John replied. "No one likes discovering they've walked into a trap. Initiate Lazarus Protocol. All ships, execute emergence patterns." Throughout the solar system, space itself began to twist. The quantum camouflage fields that had hidden humanity's true fleet for decades finally dropped. Sleek warships, their hulls gleaming with dark energy containment arrays, phased into normal space. Each vessel represented decades of hidden technological development, weapons platforms that rewrote the laws of physics, and defensive systems that could bend probability itself. The Harvester fleet's formation faltered as their sensors registered the true extent of Earth's military power. Their initial force of 6,000 ships now faced an armada 3 times its size. Deception, DTTCTE. The Harvester transmission crackled. "Military capability reassessment required. Requesting diplomatic exchange." "No," John responded simply. "You came to harvest. We've spent 50 years preparing to farm." He activated the command channel to the fleet. "Admiral Chen, you have tactical command. Execute at will." The space around Earth erupted in a display of military power that would reshape galactic politics forever. Quantum torpedoes phased through harvester shields as if they didn't exist. Probability lances rewrote the chance of enemy weapons functioning. Dark energy projectors created localized regions where the laws of physics simply took a coffee break. The harvesters' crystalline ships, beautiful in their alien geometries, began to shatter. Not in ones or twos, but in whole squadrons. Their much-vaunted adaptive technology struggled to counter weapons they had never conceived possible. "Sir," AI reported, "we're detecting quantum communications from the Harvester fleet. They're calling for reinforcements." Jean nodded. "Good. Let them call. Let them all come. It's time the galaxy learned why humanity spent so long hiding its strength. Not out of fear, but because we were waiting for the right moment to show everyone exactly what we can do." The battle for Earth had begun, but it wasn't the battle the harvesters had expected. They had come to find sheep, only to discover they had walked into a wolf's den. And these wolves had spent generations preparing for this hunt. Fleet Admiral Maya Patel watched from the bridge of the ECS Hyperion as the second wave of harvester reinforcements arrived. Their crystalline ships folded into existence like origami crafted from starlight, their numbers even greater than the first wave. The tactical display counted 15,000 new vessels joining the remnants of the original force. "They still don't understand," she murmured, dark eyes reflecting the holographic battle plans floating before her. "They think this is about numbers." The Hyperion's AI, designated Pyrometeus, spoke through her neural link. "Harvester battle patterns indicate they're preparing for a standard overwhelming force assault. Their tactical algorithms remain predictable." Maya smiled. Predictable. That was the weakness humanity had discovered in every advanced civilization they'd secretly studied over the decades. They all followed the same patterns, relied on the same tactical doctrines that had worked for millennia. Innovation had stagnated in favor of refinement. "Execute Operation Checkmate," she commanded. "All ships, initiate cognitive warfare protocols." Across the solar system, humanity's fleet shifted into formations that appeared chaotic, even suicidal to conventional military doctrine. The Harvester's tactical network struggled to predict movements that deliberately defied strategic logic. "Their confusion is evident," her tactical officer, Commander Raj Singh, reported. "Their formation is adapting, but slowly. They're trying to apply known counters to unknown configurations." Maya nodded. "Deploy the quantum ghosts." What happened next would be studied in alien war colleges for centuries to come. Quantum-entangled copies of human ships began to appear and disappear across the battlefield, each one real and unreal simultaneously until observed. The Harvester targeting systems, designed to track conventional physics, went into cascading failure trying to lock onto vessels that existed in multiple states at once. Impossible tactical configurations, DETCTED. The Harvester broadcast blared across all frequencies. Reality coherencqm requesting tactical PUSE for analysis. "Denial of analysis is a valid tactic," Maya responded calmly. "Release the probability swarms." Millions of tiny drones, each one carrying a quantum probability engine, surged forth from hidden bases across the asteroid belt. They didn't attack with conventional weapons. They attacked causality itself. Wherever the swarms passed, the chance of Harvester weapons firing successfully dropped to near zero. The probability of their shields failing rose to near certainty. "Your technology is impressive," Maya transmitted to the Harvester command ship. "But you've forgotten something fundamental about warfare. It's not the strongest who survive. It's those who adapt fastest." The Harvester's response was to launch their own swarm, crystal-based autonomous units that had conquered countless civilizations. They flowed between the stars like liquid light, beautiful and deadly. "Now," Maya ordered, "show them why we named this ship Hyperion." The Hyperion's outer hull rippled as secondary quantum processors activated. The ship wasn't just named after the Titan of Light. It was designed to weaponize illumination itself. Beams of coherent light, twisted through quantum probability states, lanced out at the Harvester swarm. Where the beams struck, the crystal units didn't just destroy, they transformed. Their own crystalline nature became their weakness as the quantum-entangled light rewrote their structure at the subatomic level. The beautiful swarm transformed into a cascade of ordinary silicon dust. "We've studied you for so long," Maya transmitted. "Every crystalline ship you've ever sent near our space, every probe, every scout. We learned your weaknesses while showing you only what we wanted you to see. And we built our entire defensive doctrine around one simple principle. The best weapon is the one your enemy never sees coming." The Harvester fleet's formation began to break. Not in panic. These beams didn't feel fear as humans understood it, but in fundamental confusion. Their tactical databases, built up over millennia of conquest, had no paradigm for what they were facing. "Fleet-wide broadcast," Maya ordered. "Execute Protocol Omega. Let's show them what happens when humanity stops playing defense." As her fleet moved into attack positions, Maya reflected on the irony. The Harvesters had spent thousands of years perfecting their art of war, becoming the galaxy's apex predators. But they had never encountered a species that turned deception itself into a weapon, that made unpredictability into a military doctrine. They were about to learn why humanity had chosen to appear weak for so long. Not because they were afraid of fighting, but because they understood that the perfect ambush required perfect patience. Dr. Elena Santos stood in the quantum core of the Titan research station, her hands dancing through holographic equations that hung in the air like constellations of pure mathematics. Around her, the combined processing power of humanity's most advanced AI systems worked to unravel the fundamental nature of their crystalline enemies. "The Harvesters aren't just using their ships," she announced to the gathered military command, her voice carrying through quantum-entangled communications. "They are their ships." On the main tactical display, the remains of the second Harvester fleet drifted in disarray, but a third wave was emerging, larger than both previous forces combined. The crystalline vessels were changing, adapting, their structures becoming more organic, more unpredictable. "They're learning," General Zhang's hologram noted. Finally, Elena nodded, her expression fierce with concentration. "But so are we. Every adaptation they make, every change in their crystalline structure, gives us more data, more understanding." She gestured, and a new set of equations blazed to life. "And I think I've found their fundamental flaw." Admiral Chen's hologram leaned forward. "Explain." "The Harvesters evolved from crystalline life forms. Their entire civilization is based on perfect order, perfect symmetry. Even their adaptations follow mathematical patterns. They can't help it. It's literally in their structure." Elena's eyes gleamed. "But we evolved from chaos, from random mutations and messy biology. Our strength isn't in perfection, it's in imperfection." The tactical display shifted, showing the quantum readings from the battle. The Harvester ships moved with incredible precision, each maneuver calculated to mathematical perfection. But where they encountered human vessels operating on quantum probability drives, their perfect formation shattered. "They can't predict us," Elena continued, "because we're not trying to be perfect. We're deliberately introducing chaos into the equation." And now, she entered a final sequence into the quantum core. We can use their perfection against them. Throughout the solar system, hidden quantum transmitters activated. The space between stars began to ripple with new possibilities. The mathematical certainties that the Harvesters relied upon began to shift and change. Critical anomed ally detcted. The Harvester broadcast echoed through the command center. Universi coherency coam. Paro. Mamayazest. Requesting immediate tactical YTGTWAL. But it was too late. The quantum field generated by humanity's hidden network didn't just affect probability. It affected the very crystalline structure of the Harvester fleet. Their perfect symmetry began to break down, not through destruction, but through the introduction of tiny imperfections that propagated through their entire network. They're experiencing chaos theory on a quantum level, Alina explained, her voice tight with controlled excitement. Each tiny imperfection creates more imperfections, cascading through their entire crystalline structure. They can't adapt to it because adaptation requires predictable patterns, and we're deliberately generating unpredictability. The effect on the Harvester fleet was catastrophic. Ships began to transform, their perfect crystalline structures developing fractal patterns that defied their original design. Some vessels merged into impossible geometries, while others fragmented into swarms of smaller craft that moved with organic, almost human unpredictability. This isn't just a military victory. Admiral Maya Patel's voice cut through the quantum link. We're literally teaching them how to evolve beyond their limitations, how to embrace imperfection. The remaining Harvester ships began to retreat, but not in the orderly withdrawal their tactical doctrine demanded. They moved like a startled flock of birds, each ship following its own newly chaotic path through space. Understanding HFY, the final Harvester transmission echoed through the command network. Humanity classification UPDATE. No TPREI. Not PREDATOR. TEC years. Alina watched as the quantum equations settled into new patterns, showing the fundamental changes rippling through the Harvester fleet. They had come to harvest a primitive civilization, and instead found themselves being transformed by the very chaos they had sought to eliminate. Sometimes, she transmitted to the retreating fleet, the greatest strength lies not in perfection, but in the ability to adapt to imperfection. Welcome to humanity's way of thinking. The battle was ending, but its implications were just beginning to unfold. Humanity hadn't just defeated the Harvesters, they had shown them an entirely new way of existing. 6 months after the Battle of Sol, the observation deck of Titan Station offered a view that would have been impossible before the war. Crystalline ships docked alongside human vessels, their once perfect geometries now displaying beautiful imperfections that caught the light of Saturn's rings in unpredictable ways. Ambassador Lyra, the first Harvester to take individual form, stood beside Admiral Chen. Her crystalline body rippled with colors that would have been considered flaws in her former society. "We spent 50,000 years perfecting ourselves," Lyra said, her voice a harmony of tones that no longer sought mathematical precision. "We thought we had reached the pinnacle of evolution. And then we met humanity." Chen watched as a group of human scientists worked alongside Harvester engineers, their combined expertise creating technologies that neither species could have developed alone. Sometimes the best teachers are those who never intended to teach. "Your deception was perfect," Lyra observed, the facade of a primitive civilization, hiding capabilities that rivaled our own. But the true deception was deeper, wasn't it? Oh, you could have destroyed us. Your quantum weapons, your probability drives, you had the power to shatter our entire fleet. Instead, you chose to change us, to show us a new way of existing. Dr. Elena Santos approached, carrying a quantum tablet displaying the latest joint research project. The integration of Harvester crystalline technology with human quantum computing is proceeding faster than expected, she reported. The chaos algorithms are creating possibilities we never imagined. Lyra's form shifted, expressing what humans had learned to recognize as excitement. "My people are still struggling to understand how you managed to embrace such uncertainty. Our entire civilization was built on predictability, on perfect patterns." "That was your strength," Chen replied, "and it served you well for millennia. But the universe isn't perfect. It's chaotic, messy, full of possibilities that can't be calculated. Humanity learned to thrive in that chaos." Through the viewport, they watched as a new class of ship emerged from the Titan shipyards. It was neither human nor Harvester in design, but something entirely new, a fusion of crystalline precision and quantum uncertainty. The Galactic Council is in upheaval, Lyra noted. The other species are terrified. They believed us to be the apex of technological achievement. And now they're watching us create things that shouldn't be possible. Elena finished. By combining your perfect patterns with our deliberate chaos, we're rewriting what's possible. Ambassador Lyra's form rippled with what had become her species' version of laughter. They fear we will conquer them together. No, Chen said firmly. They fear we'll teach them what we taught you. That perfection isn't the goal. Evolution never stops. Change is the only constant. A alert chimed softly. The first joint human harvester exploration fleet was preparing to depart. They would venture beyond known space, seeking not conquest or harvest, but understanding. Each ship carried crews of both species, their differences becoming their greatest strength. We came to harvest resources, Lyra mused. Instead, we harvested wisdom. Our perfect crystalline networks now pulse with quantum uncertainty. Our ships move with organic grace rather than mathematical precision. And we are stronger for it. Elena's quantum tablet displayed the latest readings from the Harvester homeworlds. Their entire civilization was transforming, embracing controlled chaos in ways that would have been unthinkable months ago. And humanity, what did we harvest from this encounter? Chen smiled, watching as another hybrid ship rose from the shipyards, its crystalline hull refracting sunlight in patterns that defy prediction. We harvested the future, a future where deception becomes understanding, where strength lies not in hiding what we are, but in showing others what they can become. As the exploration fleet began its departure sequence, the combined quantum crystalline drives created a display of light and possibility that represented something entirely new in the galaxy. Not perfect order, not pure chaos, but a harmony of both, a new way of existing that neither species could have achieved alone. The war that had begun with humanity revealing its hidden strength had ended with both species revealing new strengths they never knew they had. And somewhere in the vast darkness between the stars, other civilizations watched and wondered what transformations awaited them when humanity and the harvesters arrive, not as conquerors, but as teachers of a truth as old as life itself. The greatest power lies not in perfection, but in the endless possibility of change.